From the land of the rising sun, Toyota Kichiro founded what later became the Toyota Motor Corporation as a division of the Toyota Automatic Loom Works, a Japanese manufacturer founded by his father, Toyota Sakichi. Its first production car, the Model AA sedan, was released in 1936. The following year, the division was incorporated as the Toyota Motor Company, headed by Kichiro. The company's name was changed to Toyota, which has a more pleasing sound in Japanese. Toyota subsequently established several related companies, including Toyota Machine Works in 1941 and Toyota Auto Body in 1945. During World War II, the company suspended production of its passenger cars and concentrated on trucks. Faced with wrecked facilities and a chaotic economy in the aftermath of World War II, the company did not resume making passenger cars until 1947 with the introduction of the Model SA. Toyota's automobile production factories were back in full operation, and to gain competitiveness, the company began a full careful study of American automobile manufacturers, owing to perceived US technical and economic superiority. Toyota executives toured the production facilities of corporations, including the Ford Motor Company, to observe the latest automobile manufacturing technology and turn it into implemented, yielding a nearly immediate increase in efficiency. In 1957, Toyota Motor Sales USA Incorporated was established, and then the following year the company released Toyota Pet sedan, its first model to be marketed in the United States. It was poorly received because of its high price and lack of horsepower. The Land Cruiser, a 4x4 utility vehicle released in 1958, which we also talk about in upcoming videos, was more successful. In 1965, the Toyota Pet, completely redesigned for American drivers, was re-released as the Toyota Corolla, making the company's first major success in the United States. Today, Toyota has released and obtained success only some companies could wish for, with their Supra, their Land Cruiser, to name a few. But first, we are going to focus on their most successful model to date, the Corolla. The Toyota Corolla is a globally best-selling car line of subcompact and compact sedans produced by Toyota since 1966. Named Corolla after a Latin term for small prow, Toyota is known for being efficient and comfortable. In a series of 5 videos, we will be going through the history of Toyota's best-selling car, the Corolla, and how it ended up dominating the small sedan market for decades. The first generation Corolla, which was released in 1996. Development of the first generation Corolla began in the latter half of 1962 with Taso Hagesagawa, I'm butchering these names, heading up the design team. Based on his previous experience working on the Toyota Pet Crown and leading the development of the Publica, Hagesagawa decided that a different approach was needed for the new Corolla. Toyota designed the Publica as a practical family car that was both economical and affordable. To achieve this, Hagesagawa, I'm going to call this guy Hase, and his team had to simplify the car specifications and features, which led to a lukewarm reception from Japanese buyers. Part of the problem was that purchasing a car was a dream for many in the general public, and Japan was rapidly a changing country. Japanese buyers didn't just want a utility item, they wanted a vehicle they could be proud of, something that was at least luxurious. With the failure of the Publica, Toyota and Hase came to the realization that their existing components and technologies were not up to the demands of the modern car buyer. They decided to focus on creating a new concept that would feature a completely new suspension, body and engine design. Construction of this new car would require an up-to-date manufacturing facility, which came in the form of the 30 billion yen Takoya plant. Hase and his team's initial plan was to create a car with a 44 horsepower 1-liter engine, a significant challenge for Toyota at the time. The Toyota design team understood that an overhead cam was an effective way to create more power to the engine, but they lacked the experience to implement properly in an affordable package. They focused on an overhead valve layout with the camshaft in the highest possible position with the cylinder block and a shorter push rod. This workaround achieved somewhat similar performance to Toyota's ideal overhead cam layout. While Toyota was developing this new engine, 1-liter power units were becoming increasingly common in family cars. With this in mind, It was decided that the engine would be expanded to 1.1 liter to maintain an air of superiority over the competition. However, this would create some tension in the company, as believed that the new engine size would push the Corolla into a higher tax bracket. The new engine size wasn't the only thing that drew opposing voices from within Toyota. A number of workers voiced their concerns about the positioning of the McPherson strut front suspension. This was the first time that the lightweight suspension setup had been used in a Japanese vehicle, and the design team had no experience creating their own configuration. When the first prototype of the Corollas were produced, the dissenting voices were proven to be correct. The problem was so bad that one prototype could only travel 500 meters before the suspension failed. Just imagine one of the most reliable car companies failing after 500 meters. Despite these disappointments, Massey was adamant that the McPherson configuration was correct setup for a new car. With further refinements, the setup was perfected and ready to go 2.5 years later. At the rear end of the car, the new Corolla featured a much simpler semi-floating suspension configuration that was adopted to reduce the inherent squeaky noises produced from the leaf springs. Unlike many other Japanese cars of the period, the Corolla was not only designed for the local market, but also the export market as well. Toyota wanted to use the Corolla to enter new markets and see how they stack up against their foreign competition. Initially, the Corolla was only available as a two-door saloon. However, soon afterwards, a four-door sedan and a two-door van, station wagon, were introduced. Compared to the Publica, the Corolla was far more futuristic and up-to-date with the needs of the modern world. A semi-fast design for the first time and made a widespread used curved surfaces to give a more active and redefined appearance. The engine lineup started with the 1.1 liter K-series engine, but with more power. The initial prototypes had 59 horsepower at 6,000 revs per minute RPMs and 83 Nm of torque at 3,800 revs per minute. This engine featured several revolutionary technologies such as a high-mounted camshaft for more performance and a 5-bearing crankshaft that could withstand higher engine speeds. The new engine was soon joined by a more powerful KB version that was fitted with 2 carburetors and a KD engine, which featured a raised compression ratio for increased performance. In the second half of the first generation of the Corolla's production run, Toyota replaced the 1.1 liter power units with a series of enhanced and expanded 1.2 liter 3K, 3KB, and 3KD engines. The base spec 3K power unit produced a maximum output of 67 horsepower at 6,000 RPMs and 94 Nm of torque at 3,500 RPMs. A small but welcome increased power of the 1.1 volt engine. Toyota mated the K-series engines to a choice of 3 different transmissions: a floor-mounted 2-speed automatic, a steering column-mounted 4-speed manual, and a fully synchronized 4-speed manual transmission. Both the 4-speed and the 2-speed transmissions were the first for a Japanese motor vehicle and were far ahead of the ones found on older cars. To keep the body in a good condition, Toyota made use of rarely used coating technique at the time known as protective electrostatic coating, which was then combined with regular electrophotic body coating. The car was then finished in a range of different colors that were based on classic mythological themes and gods. On the inside, the sporty modern theme continued with bucket-style seats in the front that could be fully reclined. The Corolla also featured equipment that was normally only found on more expensive cars at the time, such as a center box console, armrest, a radio, and a heater. Initially, the Corolla was only fitted with drum brakes at both the front and the rear. However, Toyota installed front brake disc on some models midway through the first generation's production lifecycle. Another first for a Japanese family car.